The abandoned lighthouse stood like a skeletal giant on the rocky coast. Its paint chipped and faded, the once shining light extinguished for years. A perpetual veil of mist shrouded the structure, casting eerie shadows on the walls as the wind whispered through the broken panes. The air was heavy with the stench of salt and decay, and the silence was oppressive, punctuated only by the creaking of the lighthouse's rusty door in the gentle breeze. As I stepped out of my car, the crunch of gravel beneath my feet echoed through the stillness, and I felt a shiver run down my spine. The lighthouse's massive stone base loomed above me, casting a long, ominous shadow across the overgrown lawn. I had always been drawn to abandoned places, and this lighthouse, with its reputation for mysterious occurrences, was the ultimate prize. I approached the entrance, my heart pounding in my chest, and pushed open the creaking door. A musty smell wafted out, and I felt a cold draft on the back of my neck as I stepped inside. The interior was dimly lit, the only sound the creaking of the old wooden stairs beneath my feet. I began to climb the winding staircase, my footsteps echoing off the walls, and felt a growing sense of unease. The air was thick with dust, and cobwebs clung to the banister, making me shudder. I tried to shake off the feeling, telling myself it was just my imagination, but it only seemed to grow stronger as I ascended higher. The higher I climbed, the more I felt like I was being watched, as if unblinking eyes were trained on me from the darkness. I quickened my pace, my breath coming in short gasps, and my palms grew slick with sweat. Suddenly, I heard a faint whisper, a soft, raspy voice that seemed to come from all around me. I froze, my heart racing, and strained to listen, but the voice fell silent. I stood there for what felt like an eternity, my senses on high alert, waiting for any sign of movement. The silence was oppressive, and I knew I had to get out of there, but my feet seemed rooted to the spot. I forced myself to move, my legs trembling beneath me, and continued up the stairs. The whisper seemed to come from a room above, and I felt an overwhelming urge to investigate. My hand on the banister. I hesitated, my mind screaming at me to turn back, but my curiosity won out. As I entered the top room, I was met with a sight that made my blood run cold. A figure sat in the corner, huddled in a chair, staring blankly into space. I approached cautiously, my senses on high alert, and saw that it was the lighthouse keeper. His eyes vacant, his skin deathly pale. I reached out a trembling hand, touching his shoulder, and he jerked violently, his eyes snapping into focus. He looked at me with a mixture of fear and hatred, and I saw, in that instant, that I was staring into the face of pure madness. His eyes locked onto mine, and I felt a chill run down my spine as he spoke in a voice that was barely above a whisper. "I've been waiting for you," he whispered, his eyes glinting with a malevolent light. "You shouldn't have come here." As he spoke, the room seemed to darken, the shadows twisting into grotesque shapes that seemed to writhe and twist on the walls. I tried to turn and run, but my feet seemed rooted to the spot, and I felt a cold, dead weight settle over me, as if the very fabric of reality was closing in. And then, in an instant, everything went black. I woke up to find myself in a hospital bed, a nurse standing over me, a look of concern etched on her face. "You've been here for 3 days," she said, her voice soothing. "You were found on the coast, near the lighthouse, with a bad head wound. You must have fallen or been attacked by someone." But as I looked around the room, I saw something that made my blood run cold. On the wall, in bold, red letters, was scrawled a single phrase. "The keeper is waiting."